Hey folks, how y'all doing? Trent Clark here with Mallett Buildings. Got a good show for you today. Normally on Mondays, engineer Darrell would come, Papa Darrell would come up here and talk to y'all. But today's Tuesday. It's kind of like a Monday. Everybody had a safe holiday yesterday. He's going to be talking about a firm foundation, the importance of soil and the foundation. A lot of people think that the concrete is the foundation, but I got a feeling he's going to tell you something different. But anyway, let's get started. Like always, we like to start out with a $500 discount to your military personnel, healthcare workers, educators, and first responders. If you're one of those people, make sure you grab your extra $500. It's free money, and we're proud to give it to you. Okay? Now, if you want to upgrade your building to a signature or an elite series, you type in cash to a live feed just like this one, and we'll give you $1,000 off your building. All right? Now, where's Mallett at this week? So this week on the Texas side, we're in Beaumont, Lake Jackson, Santa Fe, Brazoria. And then in Louisiana, we're in Prairieville, Lake Charles, Ville Platte, Clinton, Lafayette, Breaux Bridge, Iway, Denham Springs twice. So we got 2 buildings going up. That is a total of 13 buildings going up this week that we are potentially, hopefully we finish them. Some of them we may and some of them we not. But that's where we're at this week, folks. Now, specials and promotions. Classic buildings. Remember, our classic building is better than our competitor's best building. Why? I mean, it's just all down the line. You got 2x12 headers. You got the cable retention system. This is something our competitors don't do. 4,000 PSI standard across the board. 2x8 scissor truss standard. Okay. And then, of course, you know, we do other things like your post. Your aggregate underneath the post for a footing. So there's 5 things I just gave you that our competitors don't do, folks. And you can get into a little bit more, like 26 gauge metal, standard on our buildings, where our competitors use 29 gauge. It's just a superior product, okay? And that's what you get when you get with Mallett. Now let's go through the specials. Classic building, okay? It's a 30x30x12. All right, 5-on-12 roof pitch. You get one 10x10 walk-through roll-up door, one walk-through door, 4,000 PSI concrete, and we're going to add microfiber to that. 4-year workmanship warranty. Okay, we're throwing in, for that price, it's $22,999. We're giving you free installation on this. Okay, on this building, it's a $1,750 value. All right, but the best part is, folks, look, it's a peace of mind to do business with us. 26 years. No violations. We are state licensed residential and commercial contractors. We do have a engineering firm on staff. You'll meet Darrell here in a minute if you already don't know it. All right, so this is special number 1 for $22,999, and we're throwing in free installation. Number 2, a 30x50, very popular building, $31,999. The free installation that we're throwing in is $2,450 value on this building. So we're already giving you a great price, okay? A great building, great price, and we're making it even better. We're adding more value to that, throwing in installation on this building that don't normally come. All right, so same specs as the other one, just a little bit bigger building. Now this building is bigger than that one. Same specs, still talking about the classic building. All right. 40x60x12 for $48,999. Great price on that, okay? And it's you know, you're going to get the installation. The value of that is $3,150. So we're giving you that. That's an extra value we're throwing in, okay? So that's on that classic building. Now we're going to jump to the elite special. We're still giving this special out. You get a 30x50x12, a 40x50x14, or a 40x60x16. Or you can do the 30x50x16. What I'm trying to say is we're giving you the extra value on these buildings is 2 ways, okay? We're giving you height adjustments, which we normally charge you for, okay? And that can range anywhere from, I know it's on here somewhere. Let me see. Yeah, height is $7,000 value that we're giving to you. Already a special price. You got a 30x50 for $43,998, a 40x50 for $53,950, and a 40x60 for $61,598. Look, these are very aggressive prices for the best building in the country. and we're throwing in the height adjustment for free, a $7,000 value. Another way is the roll-up doors. Normally comes with a 10 by 10. We're letting you pick either a 12 foot, a 14 foot, or no, I'm sorry. We're giving you a 10 by 10, a 12 by 12, or 14. Yeah, so 12, 10, or 14. We're letting you pick the size roll-up door for no extra cost. That is another $3,000 value. So we're giving you $10,000 on all these buildings, however you want it, folks. That's a lot of value that we're throwing in there, and you're getting the best building in the country. All right, so that's our elite special, and let's go to this little Cajun Oasis, still selling like hotcakes, y'all. Why? Because this is a perfect little building for a backyard retreat, personal gym, workshop, or studio, or just like a man cave. You know, this is a perfect building. It's 20 by 30 by 12, and it's $29,999. That building is going to come with electrical package that we're going to install, and it's coming with a 3-ton AC. So when we're done with that building, turn on the lights, turn on the AC, all you need to do is finish it out how you want to on the inside, and you're ready to go. Great sale. We're still having it. This is like probably the 4th or 5th week that we've ran this special because it's selling so good. It's still on there. So if you're looking, this is a perfect building for you. Now, the Mallett Ambassador Program, you know, we've started a couple of different tiers. If you're interested in that program, reach out to us. We'd love to talk to you about it. Great prizes, great ways for, if you own a Mallett building and you don't mind showing it to other people, great ways for you to make extra money. All right, we'll pay you to show your building. All right, 5 red flags, years in business, folks. All right, that's important. If they don't have the proper license, you know, I think it might be a red flag. You could find this out at the Secretary of State. All right, red flag number 2 is a proper licensure. Make sure that they have a contractor's license. They're going to erect something in your building. Red flag number 3, if they have any violations. Okay, it might be a red flag if they have violations. You can find all that information out at the LSLBC website. All right, reviews on BBB and Google. I think it's very important that you check whoever you're going to do business with out, right? Whatever kind of review, they need to have something. If not, you know, you're chancing to do business with somebody that might not be there to last the long haul. So check that out. Visit the contractor's facility. Look, it makes sense to me that if they don't have an office space that you're going to be signing a contract or talking about your building, that might be a red flag, folks. All right, so just keep that in mind. These are the 5 red flags that we come up with that we think it's important, and we like to talk about it because we don't want anything to happen out there like we know it has happened before. All right, so let's talk about why choose Mallett over our competition. Our competition basically gives you this: 6 by 6 posts, 2 by 6 trusses that are probably not treated, folks. And the inner webbing on their trusses is going to be 2 by 4. Make sure you check that out. 2 by 8 headers, we use 2 by 12 headers, okay? Superior than what they use. All right, 29 gauge metal, like I told you before, they're going to do you a thinner metal. Okay, 1 free walk-through door and standard 40-year warranty. What we do here at Mallett is a lot. Not just this, I got another slide, but 10-year workmanship warranty, #1 dry kiln MCA treated lumber on every part of your building except for the posts. Posts are treated, just we can't dry kiln them. 2 by 8 scissor truss, 5-on-12 roof pitch. All this is just superior to what anything our competitors would even think about doing. And in fact, they got to think about doing this because they can't do the 2 by 8 truss. They can't build them and they can't buy them as of right now. Free roof and wall insulation, 6-inch seamless gutter and gutter brushes. All added value on the building. 2 3 by 5 insulated window, lifetime warranty against termite, rust, rot, and fungal decay, folks. And the list goes on. Continuous ridge vent, 6-inch, not 4-inch, what our competitors do. 6 inches, 2.5 times stronger than 4-inch, okay, when you're talking about concrete strength. And we use 4,000 PSI, not what our competitors use, 3,000 PSI, which the PSI 4,000 is 33% stronger, okay? Very, very important, all right? Zac screws, everything's screwed on ours. We use the best screw. I found out today that a large DIY kit manufacturer is still using screws that doesn't cover that gasket. That is very important, folks. They're probably using it because it costs less for the screws, which is a shame because you really want the best screw you can because you got a lot of screws on your building, right? You want to make sure it's protected, and that's what we use. We use the best screw out there, and that's going to protect that gasket. Very important because that sunlight can dry it out, all right? Not with ours, but with our competitors. Remote picturing, we use company cam. We are constantly monitoring every project that we build. Those 13 buildings that we showed you where with Mallett, we are having pictures sent and videos sent continuous to us all day long. All right, engineered cable retention system, superior to anything out there that our competitors do. All right, 145 mile an hour wind rating, post pads, that's the aggregate underneath the post that serves as a pad, post protector skirt boards. All right, now Darrell's going to come up and talk to you about a firm foundation. All right.
Hey, I'm Darrell, the engineer here at Mallett. Happy Tuesday. Happy first week of September. I tell you all the time how I love Louisiana, and I love football also. I get a big kick out of watching college football and pro football, and I've been watching LSU football and listening to LSU football on the radio all my life. I have a memory of back in the 70s, laying on the floor in my house listening to LSU play University of Southern California, USC, and I think they had a Heisman Trophy winner that year, and I think LSU almost beat them, and I have memories. I love this time of the year. Also, I love it because this time of the year I can go to Winn-Dixie and buy muscadines from Georgia, and I love to eat muscadines, and they have them in the store there for about, I don't know, 2, 3, 4 weeks, and I love muscadines. So I just love this time of the year. You know, some people in some parts of the nation, they say that when college football starts, it means it's the start of fall. But down here where we live, it just gives us something to do while it's hot as all get out, because September can be a really hot month. So those comments don't cost you anything. That was for free. So now let's talk about the foundation. Some of the stuff Mr. Lee and Trent talk about, and there's these slides. Some of these slides we've seen before, but I just wanted to talk about it from an engineering perspective. And so proper foundation is crucial. The concrete slab is only as solid as the pad beneath it, and poor preparation could lead to cracks, settling, and structural failure. And industry standards require proper site prep, including soil compaction. And I think I've told y'all before, the neighborhood where I lived at one time had a house that if you measured the high point of the house versus the low point of the house, there was a 7-inch difference. That house had settled 7 inches, and it was because it was built on a little bluff going down to a pond, I guess, big pond, small lake, whatever you want to call it, and they just didn't compact that soil properly, didn't do it right, and the thing about it was there wasn't a crack in the house, wasn't a crack in any of the tile, wasn't a crack in any of the floor, but it was still a very crooked house. And so that just shows you, illustrates what we say, that the concrete slab is only as solid as the pad beneath it. The concrete slab is not going to hold itself up if the dirt settles. And so you need to know that. And then the next thing, we have recommendations. So we have in your contract, let's see, yeah. So in your contract, this is a sheet. These are part of the terms of your contract that you sign with Mallett, and it goes through all the things that you need to do to have a good foundation for your concrete slab. And in summary, what it says to degrass the property, excavate the topsoil to the clay pan, use a 60-40 sand clay mix, expand the pad 5 feet beyond the building perimeter, compaction test and verify the moisture content. It should be between 0 and 15%. Now, you know, I know that when I start talking about some of the things I talk about, I know your eyes kind of glaze over. But you know, there are a lot of things that you care about. If you buy a new vehicle, you care about whether it takes diesel or gas. I mean, you care about that, and you should care about that, because you will really mess up your engine if you don't. You know, if you're gonna get your house painted, you care about what kind of paint is used. You know, you can get I don't know. I don't even know what paint costs these days. But there's a difference between $10 a gallon paint, which I don't even know if you can get a gallon of paint for $10 anymore, or $30 a gallon paint. I mean, one will be like water and one will be like paint. One will look good on your wall, one won't cover anything. So it matters, and all kinds of things you probably matter about. Maybe you matter. Maybe you know all about the cell phone that you purchase or the TV that you purchase, or maybe you care about the recipe that you follow when you make cookies. But the point is, these numbers matter, and dirt for your project matters, and you just have to take some time. It's not anything that is really complicated, and you just need to take that attention to detail. And so when you're gonna, a lot of times you're gonna hire a dirt guy. We'll just call him the dirt guy, okay? And you don't want to just say, Mr. Dirt Guy, you just do whatever you want to do to give me a good pad, because he sells dirt, and he may only need to dig out to scrape off that grass, and then maybe take 8 inches to get down to the hard pan. And maybe he might, instead of going 8 inches, he may go 16 inches. I live in a subdivision that's got really kind of weird dirt, and I see guys out there digging 3 and 4 feet holes and bringing in fill dirt and spending thousands of dollars, and the owner probably doesn't even know why. And so it's big money that I'm talking about. And you know, one thing you need to when you get ready to do your project, and if you're thinking about it, you need to take these foundation recommendations and you need to talk to them with your dirt guy. And you need to say, hey, Mr. Dirt Guy, what's the characteristics of the dirt that you're using? And he's going to say, the what? No. And say, well, what's the optimum moisture content of that dirt? What's the liquid limit of that dirt? what's the plasticity index of that dirt? And you say, well, I don't care about all that. Well, if you care about your money, you need to care about these few terms. And so this thing about moisture content, and most people know this. I mean, number one, when it comes to dirt work, you want to do your dirt work when it's dry, when it's hot and dry. That's the best time to do dirt work. You will save thousands of dollars by doing it when it's hot and dry. The lawsuits occur because people do dirt work in the wrong time of the year, and then they're amazed whenever the bill comes in, because it takes, you know, the dirt guy's out there working and it's wet, and he's going to scoop until he hits something firm. Well, guess what? That firm has shifted down because the ground's wet, and it's just that simple. So do it when it's dry. The other thing is, just preemptively, before you even start the pad, you need to look around your property and make sure that the area that you're going to put the new building drains well. And if it doesn't, you need to get you a shovel, maybe a small excavator, and you need to improve your ditches around your property. Why? Because it saves you money. It just saves you money. And so, and then this thing about the moisture content is kind of tricky, because industry standard calls for dirt to be compacted to 95% of the maximum dry density of the dirt. But and a lot of times the moisture content is not even entered into those specifications. But the dirt needs to be compacted to 95 to 98% of the maximum dry density, and it needs to be compacted to an optimum moisture content. And all standards say that optimum moisture content is around 15%. Now, we had a project here at Mallett where someone complained that their slab had a lot of cracks in it after we had done it. And they said, well, we didn't do anything wrong because we got our soil tested. And they did get their pad tested, and it was compacted to 95 to 98%. But the moisture content of their dirt was 20 and above. And so what happens when your moisture content is high, and especially depending on the time of the year, that as the water table drops, or just as the dirt sits there and dries, it will begin to compress. And if it does it unevenly, which it is going to do that most of the time, you get these hairline cracks that occur in the concrete because the dirt has settled or compressed or dried or whatever you want to call it. So it's just something to think about and something to realize that you need to consider these numbers. And then, so this is just, step one is to remove the grass. This is the photo with grass, and this is the photo without grass. That's for the people in the peanut gallery. And then this shot is Mr. Dirt Guy on his excavator digging a rather deep hole to get to the hard pan. And the thing about it is, how does he know what the hard pan is? Well, a lot of times he knows because he's been doing it all his life. And he's been working in the area all his life, and he knows what that clay pan looks like. He knows what organic topsoil that's trash dirt looks like, and he knows what the hard pan looks like. But sometimes hiring a testing agency to be involved in your dirt work can be a process where you pay hundreds to save thousands. And so that's just something to keep in mind, because a testing lab, they will test the dirt that the dirt guy is going to use. They will give you what the maximum dry density is. They will give you what the optimum moisture content is, and then they'll test that. They'll come out when he begins to do the pad, and they'll tell the guy, hey, you can stop digging. You've hit the hard pan. Now we can start putting fill. Now, this is something that's interesting. So I've been involved in lots and lots of foundations all over the South, and I've worked with a lot of soils engineers who do geotechnical reports. And I was told by one that was a good friend, and he said that no matter how bad the dirt is, 90% of the time, if you take out 2 feet of dirt and you put back 3 feet of good fill material, which is A4 material or better, on this AASHTO scale that they have, it's A1. A1 is sand, A4 is getting into clays, anywhere in between there. And really the optimum dirt is a clay that has mostly sand and clay. And that's what Mr. Lee is talking about when he says 60-40, he's saying 60 sand, 40 clay. Anyway, if you take out 2 and you put back 3, you're going to be okay if you properly compact it. So anyway, that's just something you need to think about. Now, the other thing is, when you get to the part where you're filling in this hole, the way you're supposed to do it is you're supposed to do it in 8 to 12 inch lifts. And a lot of times they don't do that. A lot of times they do what they've done in this photo, where they had that hole dug and then they filled it up. And maybe they have 2 feet of fill in there. Well, it's very hard to compact that properly, even if you have a big sheep's foot roller. If you do it in 8 to 12 inch lifts, you can properly compact a slab with a dozer. And so that's another thing that you need to remember. And then the next slab is this preparation of a Proctor test of soil. And so that brings up what I've already talked about, the soil engineer. And once again, this is an enlarged copy of that, the terms in our foundation recommendations, and we have in there the fill dirt for the pad should have an optimum moisture content of 15 or less, a plasticity index of 40 or less, and a liquid limit of 10 or less. The required compaction is 95% of maximum dry density. We highly recommend that you follow these customary practices. If you choose not to, then you run the risk of foundation failures and cracks. Concrete is only as solid as the pad or ground below it. And then it goes through some other stuff. Then it says down here at the bottom, note, the post-frame building constructed by Mallett Buildings does not rely on the concrete slab for structural support. All the design loads are carried by the embedded post. So why am I talking about this? Well, I'm just trying to save you from worry, and this is that AASHTO classification system that I was talking about. Found that on that highly reliable source, Wikipedia. So then the last component is we come in and we'll put some sand on top of the pad that you provided to level out the area, because sand is very easy to work with and it compacts almost instantaneously if you put a little bit of water or just walking around if it's thin enough, and that's the final step before you pour your concrete. Now, this picture, I really I don't understand this photo because this guy's in trouble. This guy, his pad should be way up here where the building is. And so he didn't do it right. So don't do it like that. So the impacts of a poor foundation, we've already said it, uneven surfaces leads to slab failure, and the building may sink or become unlevel. The building's not going to sink, but your concrete is. And then fixing a failing foundation costs more than doing it right the first time. So that's the talk for today. And if you have any questions when you start your dirt work, give me a call and I'll talk to you here at Mallett. So we'll see you next week. Thanks.